Hi everybody, it's Karina Murphy from Yeaman Real Estate, and today I'm sitting here with John West, local musician and rock star. And we're going to talk about your experiences out in the world making music.
Okay.
And we're also going to talk about what keeps bringing you back to Cortland.
Okay.
So, I guess I'll just start out. Can you give me a little bit more about your career? I mean, I know that you're out there making music in Europe and wherever else you post from, out on the West Coast. It sounds like you've had a really exciting career. How did it all start?
It's been a good one. Started out with moving to New York City when I turned 21 and taking my shot.
Yeah.
And realizing I had a voice that could compare or better than others. So after 10 years of trying out for record companies and auditioning for bands, and I ended up moving to California.
So it took you 10 years?
It really did.
Wow. So you were in your 30s before your career really took off?
I gave myself until 35. I said if I don't get signed to a record company, because that was the model back then.
Yeah.
That you were pretty much done. There was no independent making
Right.
your own album and trying to sell it as it is now.
You couldn't do it in your basement and right. Yeah.
So I said if I get to 35 and I don't sign the elusive record deal, then I'm going to quit. I'll go to something else.
All right.
I'll have it as a hobby, but I won't pursue the record deal.
Right.
And I got signed when I was 32.
So you had 3 more years to go.
I just made it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So 40 albums later,
Wow.
we're sitting here now.
That's great. Yeah. And how would you describe your music?
It's rock, hard rock,
Yeah.
progressive metal, some of it. I kind of lucked into progressive
Yeah.
only because I did a studio session for Our Tension, and they ended up having a hit in Japan with the album.
That's awesome.
And then I became known as a progressive metal singer. I was like, okay.
Okay.
I'll do that then.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so I made 7 albums with Our Tension.
Okay. And was this probably in the 90s?
Yeah, it was 96 when
Okay.
that happened.
What are other bands that you've been in?
Well, my first big break was Badlands, and it was Jake from Ozzy's band.
Okay.
Jakey Lee, and Badlands was a great band, and they auditioned every singer that was in America, basically, and overseas, and they just couldn't find anyone to replace Ray Gillen.
Yeah.
And
Then they found
the
you.
kid from Cortland mails his cassette tape and gets a go, so they flew me to LA and I tried out and I got the gig. So that's really what put me on the map, was singing for Badlands.
I mean, if anyone has ever heard you really sing,
Yeah.
and I've only heard you really sing on videos, to be
Right.
honest. Like,
Right,
like
yeah. The local bar gigs.
is not you really showcasing what you actually, I think, do.
Mhm.
So, but if anyone has ever heard you really sing, they'll understand that you're, just
Different
Different
level. And
level.
I don't do that in the bars because it's really not appropriate.
no,
Coffee houses and things like that. I mean, I feel like I'm shouting at people.
Right.
So it's more like Brown Eyed Girl and stuff you can kind of chat to and things like that. When we go on tour, most of the people are actually listening and focusing on it. And
they're there to see you.
yeah, it's completely different.
So you do a lot of different things. I mean, you're out there performing with different groups and out there traveling and touring, but also you do local things too, so you can put things together. So what would someone see you doing locally here?
You could see me with Johnny and Lonnie as a duo. You could see me as a solo artist. You could see me DJing.
Yeah.
I've got a radio show on Friday nights on 101.5. I have a band called 10 Man Push I play with. There's Johnny and Lonnie Band, which is us with Nate on drums.
So music is
We keep
really the
pretty busy.
focus on pretty much any way that you've made a living in the last.
Yeah, I have a landscaping business too, which eats up my days. So, wife and I do Bronx landscaping. That
No
takes us.
kidding.
Yeah, that's our day
Wow.
job.
I didn't even know that.
I'm looking to simplify at some point.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know you could live off the land.
could,
Yep.
and I have a cabin that's, on some acres and that, and maybe someday that will be a partial place where I spend some of my year. and we bought a camper that's a toy hauler so that we can eventually just live in that and
Get rid of everything.
get rid of everything, simplify it.
I've heard so many people talk about doing that.
And we've already got the camper, and I'm just whittling down to what's going to go in it. So that'll be, 8-10 years down the road.
Yeah. What can you not live without?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to know?
Sure. What can you not live without?
Guitars, dogs, a four-wheeler, a couple guns, some landscape equipment.
All in your little old camper.
But when you go around to these camp resorts, and we go to many of them, and we've toured and stayed at many of them, they have a need for musicians, DJs, landscapers,
Yeah.
managers. And so we're hoping that our retirement plan is we're going to be bopping around from resort to resort and spending maybe 4 months in one location as
Yeah. As the
one of
weather.
those skills, whatever those skills are.
Yeah, my aunt did that. She had a successful career at IBM, and when she retired, she bought a camper and parked sometimes in Alabama, parked sometimes in Sodus, New York.
That's what I wanna do.
Yeah, she just sort of followed the sun, and yeah.
So we're building relationships now with some of the resort owners. I've got a gig next week in Northern California, and I'm going to be up there playing music and DJing and making a relationship with the owners.
So when you are driving around in your car, what would you be listening to music-wise?
Music-wise, probably either Howard Stern or NFL radio or anything talk, because I get enough.
See, that's not music.
I make music. It's like, what kind of donuts do you eat when you make donuts?
Yeah,
You
you don't.
No, you eat the steak or something.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
I listen to a lot of talk radio too.
Yeah, I just need
Yeah.
a break from music most of the time. And then also, for me, it kind of blocks my original thought process. I'm always thinking of a new melody for something or a jingle or whatever, and I'm trying to keep that fresh without the influence of popular music or whatever's on the radio. So,
I was curious if there was a certain genre that you were
No,
drawn to,
I
or
love
if you're
all
like
kinds of
always a
music.
metalhead.
No. I love all kinds of music.
Yeah.
And heavy stuff, of course, but everything else as well.
Well, I've heard you play everything from the heavy stuff to just really. I mean, you guys have done
picky.
country.
Oh, yeah.
You've kind of crossed.
I love everything.
Yeah.
Music-wise, just can't always have it going in the background because it just clouds my thinking, musical thinking.
Yeah.
Thinky Amen.
Yeah, I know.
Something like
In fact,
that,
I think
like-
I'm going to incorporate that jingle into today's.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I've already gotten permission to
Good.
do that. So.
Well, that's another little sideline that I've been working on is creating jingles, which are like little miniature songs
Yeah.
for companies that need them. Making albums anymore is really a thing of the past.
Right.
It's about making singles and the music's available to download for free. It's not like it used to be.
Right.
I used to get money in advance to make a record, deliver it to the record label, and they would put it out, and we would play live and support the album. And it just was like that's how you made your
was a
money.
different
I had money in
business.
my hand before I made the record.
Yeah.
Now they want the record completed with artwork, with lyrics, with everything delivered to them, and then they'll give you like a third of what it cost you to make the record,
If you're
and then
lucky.
you won't get the rest back.
Oh.
So I don't make albums like we used to.
Yeah.
It's just not that way anymore. So
Do you miss it?
I miss it's a completely different thing now. So, as it started to trickle out, it seemed like we were working harder and harder for less and less. So I don't miss that part of it.
Right.
I miss creating. That's why I'm kind of like leaning more towards jingles, because it's still something companies need.
Yeah.
It's something I'm good at.
You are good at it.
And it's a way to still make a buck, and everybody's also making a buck.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what it used to be too in the old days when you made a record. The record company, of course, got rich, but you got money too.
Yeah.
It was like give and take. So jingles, I think, for me, is probably where I'm going to be headed in the next.
That's really good information. I'll make sure to highlight that on, when I do the editing. So, when when you decided, I'm assuming at some point you decided to come back to Cortland, or has it always been your home base?
No, I decided to come back here. It was in '97,
Okay.
and I'd lived in Southern California and Northern California for 5 years.
Okay.
I had a 5-year run in California and moved back here in '97 just to be, friends and family. Our families were based here, and it was time to buy a house and get serious about, where's a place to raise kids. And we chose Cortland to return to.
Yeah.
And it's been great. And I can fly out of Ithaca or Syracuse as I would anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Cortland is just really nicely placed in
Really
New York
enjoy
State.
it. And I've got so many friends and connections here. My parents got to know my children.
Yeah.
And they would have rarely seen them in California.
Yeah. What are your favorite things about Cortland?
I just like the connections I have with all the friends that I've known for so many years. And what I really like is I like the small town living. I like things like Pumpkin Fest and being able to pull up to the post office and mail a letter without having to be in a traffic jam to get there.
Right.
They know your name when you drop it off, or you know what I mean?
I love that.
To me.
I love walking into the bank and people being like, "Hi, Karina," and it's just
that.
like, "Hi, Ann," and it's so nice.
I lived in LA, I lived in New York City, even in Redding, California. If you went to mail a letter, you stood in line like you're at DMV.
Right.
It's like that for everything you do, and it's like, I just can't, that kind of lifestyle.
Spending all your time waiting in line.
Yeah. Or
I feel that
stuck
same
in a
about
car.
traffic.
Yes.
Yeah.
In LA, it was horrible. I was stuck on the 10 highway,
Yeah.
for hours just trying to go somewhere and like go to band practice or something. It just drove me nuts. I was like, I can't live like this.
Right.
I need countryside and fresh air. And
You are a wide open spaces kind of guy. Yeah.
hunting land and ride my wheeler,
Yeah.
snowmobile, and that just, all those things, you give all that up when you live in the city.
You do.
It's cool.
Yeah, and whereas in Cortland you almost can have the best of both worlds. There's stuff to do here. We were talking about how great live music is, and how accessible it is in our town.
What a live music scene we have, where on a Friday night you could see 10 different bands.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's like, that's like Austin, Texas level almost. Like, we don't have those type of things in LA. You won't see live music unless you go to a show and buy a ticket. Here you can walk up in a place and there's a band playing.
And buy a coffee.
Yeah.
I can bring my 18-year-old to listen to live music without having... Yeah, you can bring your dog.
It's cool. So, it doesn't pay a lot.
Right.
But we enjoy what we do, and that's why musicians are out playing, because they just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Entertaining people, trying new songs, trying new sounds, instruments, whatever. It's just that, it's fun. It's a fun thing.
We are really lucky to have you in the community.
Thank you.
It's funny when people know that you're going to be doing. I remember quite a few years ago, I think you were performing at a 4th of July thing here, or it might have been when the Jets were around.
Yes.
But that was just like this hugely promoted, and everyone was so excited. And we're very lucky that you've made this your home base, and we can kind of vicariously live through watching the videos of you out there in the world singing to these huge stadiums of people. And I'm like, I just had coffee with him the other day.
Looks like a homeless bum in PNC, but there he is on stage. Right? You gotta live somewhere.
You gotta live somewhere.
And there's an airport nearby, and I'm more than happy here, so.
Good.
I don't see me going anywhere until I get in the old camper, and probably Cortland will be on the list of where we spend part of the year.
Well, it's been such a pleasure talking to you today. Thanks
Appreciate
a lot,
your
John.
time.
Absolutely. We'll see you around town, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you.
I will.
Think yay man, think yay man, the premier name in real estate. Think yay man, think yay man, the premier name in real estate.